Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. Topping our news tonight, we don't know why or who, if anyone, he was connected to, but we do know it is gut-wrenching and awful. The president of France has declared 3 days of mourning following the fatal attack in Nice on Thursday night as investigators try to determine whether the driver of the truck had any help. Thousands of people gathered to celebrate Bastille Day. Witnesses say the truck plowed through the crowd for over a mile until the driver was shot dead by police. 84 people were killed, including 10 children. Over 200 people are injured, including 25 who remain on life support. A father and his 11-year-old son from Texas visiting Nice are among the victims.
Within split seconds of hearing the gunshots, I started running, and the entire place seemed like a complete chaos.
The suspect is being identified as Mohamed Bouel, a 31-year-old resident of France from Tunisia who had lived in Nice and had a criminal record. French President Hollande is calling the attack an act of terror. The Eiffel Tower will be lit up red, white, and blue Friday night to honor the victims. The last major terrorist attack was in Turkey, and now it appears to be a military coup there. Military jets are flying over the capital, and there are reports of vehicles blocking two major bridges in Istanbul. According to state TV, the Turkish military has taken over the government and declared martial law. The country's president is calling on supporters to gather in the streets. We no longer have to fear whether the Zika virus will land on the Suncoast. It's here. The Florida Department of Health announcing today there is now a confirmed case of Zika in Manatee County. There are now more than 300 cases reported in Florida. The CDC recommends that women who are pregnant or thinking of becoming pregnant postpone travel to Zika-affected areas. Health officials are also urging Floridians to drain standing water weekly to reduce the number of mosquitoes. It's official, Donald Trump has picked his running mate, although several news organizations are reporting he had second thoughts last night. Trump shared the news on Twitter this morning, writing, "I am pleased to announce that I have chosen Governor Mike Pence as my vice presidential running mate." Trump will host a news conference in New Jersey tomorrow.
We love our country. My family and I couldn't be more honored to have the opportunity to run with and serve with the next president of the United States.
Trump was supposed to announce his pick at an event today, but decided to delay his decision after last night's terror attack in France. Sarasota police have made their first arrest in the firearm theft that led to cancellation of a community conversation earlier this week. Police were alerted by Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies investigating a large ammunition sale at a local pawn shop Thursday morning. On Wednesday, hours after an AR-7 and nearly 700 rounds of ammunition were stolen from a Sarasota residence, Joseph Stout III allegedly sold the same items to a pawn shop. The serial numbers from the gun at the shop matched the gun reported stolen, and Stout was arrested. Police say Stout is a 3-time convicted felon.
Because he was a felon and because he did sell a weapon, the Sheriff's Department showed up the next day and seized that weapon and the ammunition.
Probably just somebody looking for some quick money so they could get their fix. So, you know, whether it be alcohol or drugs or whatever it is, I mean, that's generally what the case is in these neighborhoods.
Police are still investigating a separate incident in which an AK-47 and 1,000 rounds were stolen from a different home. If you live in Venice, your taxes are going up. A measure approved this week by the Venice City Council raises the millage rate. That means each Venice homeowner will pay $50 more per $100,000 their home is worth. That totals about $1.6 million more in tax revenue for the city.
You can't just blame it on the pension and depreciation of vehicles. Some of this is playing catch up as well. So because of some of those years in the past where the millage was decreased and probably should have been kept the same.
Venice Finances Director says this will put Venice in a better shape next year to pay for its emergency personnel's pension benefits. And now on to weather. Bob, it's a lot calmer out there today.
Right now it is, but there are some storms in Venice. You mentioned that. Venice Golf and Country Club, Plantation, as well as Jacaranda, all getting some rainfall. And even in Northport and Warm Mineral Springs had over an inch of rainfall. A little later start. You're right, Ellen. Showers are pushing up toward the west-northwest, and there'll be more, I think, developing out ahead of it. Here's a look at what's happened as far as the rain goes at Lakewood Ranch. Not much today. We had a lot of sunshine, and then clouds starting to thicken up a bit, though. As we take a look through time, you can see those towering cumulonimbus in that last frame at 7 o'clock, indicating some rain heading in that direction. And you can see that from the radar imagery showing that line of storms developing from Fort Myers earlier this afternoon around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then working its way in through Charlotte and into Port Charlotte, Northport, and even into Venice right now. The heaviest storm by far is now near Mayaca City, but still some rain near Venice and some lightning strikes occurring there. That one cell heading toward Clark and Lakewood Ranch is actually weakening right now, but some lightning still occurring near US 41. And there it is near Center Road and near Plantation, stretching off toward Jacaranda. Some rain occurring there. Big storm in Mayaca City, just to the west. Have to keep an eye on that one east of Lakewood Ranch, that one right there on University, showing some signs of becoming severe, and that'll be pushing off toward the west-northwest in time. So again, storms taking their time, but starting to develop again into Manatee County. Here we go, another round this evening. There's that rainfall total I mentioned. Warm Mineral Springs, over an inch reported there. For boaters tomorrow and the rest of the weekend looks to be pretty good. A light chop in the bays and inland waters with the exception of the weekend. In the afternoon and evening is when we'll see the higher seas and stronger winds. And there's your extended forecast. Rain chance not as widespread of rain on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as a result of a little bit of dry air, but there's still enough energy to produce some storms.
We'll take it.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, we are just days away from the Republican National Convention. We'll give you an idea of what to expect next week in Cleveland.
Need new windows? Buy direct from the factory. New South Window is having a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Buy 4 windows, save 25%. Buy 6 windows, save 30%. Buy 8 or more windows and save 35%. How? Because New South owns the factory and you cut out the middleman. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows and doors installed with a lifetime warranty. New South Windows are made in Florida for Florida homes by Florida workers. Visit newsouthwindow.com or call now.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits on the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
A year ago today, some of the best political minds in America said there was not a chance in the world Donald Trump could get the Republican presidential nomination. Come Monday, I'll be reporting from Cleveland, where Donald Trump will be accepting the Republican presidential nomination. ABC 7's Ray Collins will be joining me, and he joins us now with a preview.
It's one of the biggest years in Cleveland history. Not only did the basketball team end a decades-long drought, but their home court will be transformed into center stage for the Republican National Convention. Some 50,000 people are already coming to Cleveland, and besides all the events and the impact financially, there's a lot at stake. This will be candidate Donald Trump's official nomination, which, if done correctly, becomes a big springboard into the general election.
It'll be interesting.
Sarasota's Christian Ziegler will be there as a state committeeman. He predicts a much different convention than previous years.
I know Trump's having less political speakers and more, he's looking at athletes and other champions in life. So it'll be very, very exciting and definitely different than most conventions.
And the president of the Sarasota Republican Club agrees.
I think this convention will be very unique, really, because Donald Trump will bring a whole different element of excitement to it. He's going to bring an entertainment factor. It's going to be less political oriented and far more positive.
So with all this in mind, what advice can Trump receive from local Republicans?
It's a great question. I would say just keep hustling and really look at all the various factions of the party and make sure that you please them all. Just keep an eye on the various groups and make sure you tap into them and you know, communicate with them.
And besides communication, Thompson suggests focusing heavily on the opponent.
Concentrate and focus on Hillary Clinton like a laser beam. Weakest Democrat candidate since Jimmy Carter, and probably the most unlikable one in history.
It should be quite a week in Cleveland. In Sarasota, Ray Collins, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Ray. We have just confirmed our Congressman Vernon Buchanan, a Republican, will not attend next week. A spokesperson for his office tells us Buchanan is not attending so he can spend more time with his family. A reminder, ABC 7 will have a special coverage of both the Republican and Democratic National Conventions. Ray and I will be in Cleveland next week for the Republican National Convention. Then the following week, it is the Democratic National Convention. I'll be there along with Adam Cellini, and Haley Wilgus will be in Philadelphia to bring you all the latest developments. So in a moment, our roundtable.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
And joining us now is Rita Ferrandino, the treasurer of Sarasota's Democratic Party, Jack Brill, the vice chairman of the Republican Party of Sarasota, and political analyst Jeffrey Aronson. Thank you all for joining us. So thank you. There will be fewer politicians in Cleveland, no Bushes, no McCains or Romneys, but a lot of sports stars and music stars. Does this make a difference to the public who will be watching, Jack?
I think this is going to be such a unique convention. I had a voter call me today, an 85-year-old gentleman, and he was talking about what can he do to support Trump. And he said, this is the first time in 60 years I can vote for somebody that's not part of the establishment. And he was totally excited. I mean, it was a great conversation. So, you know, it's going to be, you know, you're going to have sports folks there, obviously non-political, but, you know, they're going to mix it up. It's going to be a unique convention, something we haven't seen in the past.
You know, it was just a couple of months ago. We were almost sure this was going to be a brokered or an open convention, that it didn't seem that there was any way out of this. And, you know, it just didn't happen, Jeff. But are there still challenges for Donald Trump there? Because after all, the Never Trump movement was basically killed off yesterday.
There are challenges within the party, and they're not going to prevail. But of course, they're going to make some noise, despite the official rules killing off the Never Trump movement. And let's remember 1968, when there was an orchestrated convention inside the hall, but outside all hell was breaking loose. And with armed factions on both sides coming to Cleveland and open carry laws and all kinds of demonstrators heading there, it could be a lively
But we don't
convention.
know if that's going to happen.
No, we don't know, of course not. But it's not an impossibility.
And Rita, if you heard our dear friend Rod Thompson in Ray's story saying his advice to Donald Trump would be to focus, zero in on Hillary Clinton because of her high negatives. But I would imagine as a Democrat, you would point out that Mr. Trump has also historically high negatives himself. So what do you think that Trump needs to do, and how do you think that Democrats should react to it?
Well, I think the really interesting story of the week is that it's been nationally reported, and right here in Sarasota, that Donald Trump actually has very little ground game in place in all of the key states. And it was reported nationwide that he is understaffed in Florida, in Ohio, in Pennsylvania, in Alabama. I mean, the list was huge. So I think that what's really interesting about this convention is that usually the convention is your pivot point for the party operatives and the field operation to get into gear. And he doesn't have any of that in place. And he doesn't have the party establishment behind him. I think what's much more interesting is who's not showing up at the convention.
But let me stop you there for just 1 second, because Hillary has obviously been pouring millions of dollars into Florida. It's hard to turn on the TV right now without seeing a Hillary Clinton commercial. She also has an incredible amount of staff in Florida. They just opened their new headquarters up the road in Tampa. But according to the latest polls, Trump is either tied, slightly in the lead. A new poll came out today saying he's down 8, but it's close. So if
down 8 is not close.
No. But
it is not close.
That's this week. But next week it'll have 5 other polls.
Hillary Clinton has been very clear that she believes that the way you win is through a field game. It's person to person. It's putting people knocking on doors. It's mobilizing people. So she has put her investment in the state of Florida, as all of the key states, in people. And I think that's going to be what takes her across the finish line.
And a week from Monday, there are 24, I think approximately 24 staff people for Trump that will be back in town. The doors are open. I know our party, we've got our volunteer action team already has been in place.
There have been reports that there have been next to no people in that office for weeks and weeks and weeks. I know because
that I can't dispute with you, but I'm saying I know that there's 24 people coming. They'll be arrived week from Monday morning.
Jeff, let me ask you this question, because traditionally a party's nominee gets a bump coming out of their convention, and then the next party to hold the convention, their nominee gets a bump. There's something really unusual this year. The conventions are only a week apart. So does that hurt Trump from the perspective that just when you would think that he would get his bump, you're going to have the Democratic nomination kind of stealing the thunder?
Yeah, to a degree, but the bumps tend to be temporary. If you look at the polling trajectories over presidential elections in the past, it lasts no more than 2 or 3 weeks, so it'll be cut short a little bit this time. I get a kick out of hearing people saying that this is going to be a non-establishment convention. Donald Trump is part of the establishment. It's just not the party establishment. He's part of the entertainment and New York establishment. But, establishment, the political establishment is only a distinction that inside baseball people make, so to speak. And most folks out there who are watching the convention, and there won't be very many, by the way,
You're going to be record audiences for this convention. There has been on every debate all the way through. Donald Trump got the most votes in the primaries of any Republican candidate ever.
A record audience in a track record, a historical track record of very few people watching the convention is not that impressive. What I'm saying is the American people in general are not terribly politically interested, except during the last few weeks of a campaign. There's been vast.
But it has been for both parties their opportunity to basically, you could call it an infomercial if you'd like, but it gives an opportunity for both candidates to basically frame their argument.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But Jack, let me ask you this. I mean, bringing out Hall of Fame coaches and athletes, How does that translate to votes in the fall?
That gives the more realistic perspective. You know, it's people that the
Professional athletes give the realistic perspective?
But,
Okay.
you know, you've got a lot of the family members. There's, you know.
Tim Tebow doesn't even play anymore.
But Tim Tebow's not going. He wasn't invited. So you have to look at, you know, looking at you don't see the same Washington scripted speeches. What a lot of the folks in the primaries are saying is they wanted to see something different, and that's what they're going to see this year. Plus, you've got the platforms. This, you know, this is the most pro-Israel platform that came out of the Republican Party in a very long time. And
part of
you
the
know,
culture
It's not particularly pro-LGBT rights.
No.
It's not particularly.
it's a fairly conservative, but
It's very conservative.
but it's what the folks are looking for that's not Washington.
And don't downplay the fact that you're going to hear a lot of traditional political speeches from Republican politicians. This is their chance to get in front of prime time and to make traditional.
On both sides.
Is Marco Rubio going?
He's doing a video.
Because he's too busy to go?
Well,
he's probably being with his family like Vern Buchanan is.
I don't know his schedule, Rita, so I'm not going to say, but I'm sure he's got, you know.
But your original question was, is there an advantage to Hillary Clinton for having the last speaking gig? And I think there really is. I think the fact that she is going to be the first woman candidate from a major political party is going to be a really big rallying cry, and it's going to end that whole convention on an up note. It's going to take her right into Labor Day.
But traditionally, when one party is having their convention, the other party gives them their due, and they step off the stage for a couple of days, and vice versa. And any predictions about whether that will take place now, or is it going to be a food fight for the next 2 weeks?
Based on what we're seeing so far, it's going to be a food fight all the way through. And you're right. Normally, traditionally, there is a downtime, and you know, you give everybody the opportunity to have their conventions. You know, as we've seen through this whole primary season, all bets are off this year.
And we'll have to leave it there. I appreciate it, and boy, are we going to have fun next week. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
You know what scares me? No electricity. Yeah, when this magical box suddenly stops working, I call the pros at Mr. Sparky and they send a superhero to save the day. How's it going, Pablo?
It's going great, Mike.
Pablo possesses amazing skill. He can perform incredible feats at blinding speed.
Superhero. Couldn't have done it without you.
Modest, too.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Just to be clear, I don't live here.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Last night on ABC 7 at 7, we discussed how the Sarasota Police Department postponed a community conversation between the NAACP and SPD. They say the meeting was canceled because of 2 rifles that were stolen from 2 different locations just hours before the scheduled meeting, posing a security risk. And we asked you if you thought the SPD made the right decision by postponing the meeting. John Carpenter says yes, Chief DePino made the right call. Safety is of utmost importance. Mary Beth Waltz says safety is the most important thing. And Alexander Blark said definitely, we are living in weary times. Indeed, we are. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation, just join our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Alan Cohn. Have a good weekend, and I will see you next Monday from the Republican National Convention in Cleveland.
It's time for my Suncoast's Bark in the Park with the Bradenton Marauders at McKechnie Field. Bring your best friend and let them run the bases. July 24th at 1 p.m. Visit BradentonMarauders.com for info. Sponsored by ABC7. On your TV. On your computer. On your camera. On your smartphone. On your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
We're starting the week on a sophisticated and classy note. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we're talking and trying caviar and learning how local groups are working to keep it sustainable right here on the Suncoast. We love new ideas. We'll meet local entrepreneurs with our economic buzz expert, plus how to protect your pets from heat exhaustion. And Ruth's Chris joins us in the kitchen.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Florida Studio Theater presents the 8th Annual Sarasota Improv Festival, July 14th through 16th. 3 days of non-stop comedy with 18 groups from New York City, Atlanta, Austin, Boston, Chicago, Columbia, Canada, Orlando, and more. The laughter will be unlimited. Don't miss what Daly City says is non-stop lunacy. Featured acts will include premier improv group Impro Theater. Improv Festival passes and tickets are on sale now. 941-366-9000 or visit floridastudiotheater.org.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
ABC 7 News at 7 weeknights.